There's so much drama going on right now.
Girl, she not ready to have her.
Last but finally not least, after No Beans, we have the black shade in the palette called Spooky. I named this after my love for all things spooky, like horror movies and Halloween. I just love being sister spooked. Last but finally not least, after No Beans, we have the black shade in the palette called Spooky. I named this after my love for all things spooky, like horror movies and Halloween. I just love being sister spooked. I just love being sister spooked.
Okay. Hey, what's up all my social climbing friends? It's Dustin and I am back with another video. Yes, it is like really early in the morning. It is like 7 o'clock and I have not been asleep yet, but I wanted to film this video before I go to bed and put it up. For those of you that may have questions, you know that in my last video that I uploaded about Thomas Halbert, if you haven't watched it, you should definitely go back. I did hint that I was going to be making a video about James Charles and his Morphe collaboration. I do want to say that in this video, in no way am I trying to like come for James Charles. I actually think the concept behind his palette with Morphe is very, very creative. I thought the promo was very well executed and it was very, very cute. It was very him, if that makes any sense at all. It was very his style. And I want to say that the palette is really, really, really cute. I do want to also say that there are a lot of people saying that James Charles actually has colors that were in a palette that was discontinued by Morphe. I am going to look further into that. I did think maybe for a second that that was the case, but I definitely cannot tell at this point in time because I have not taken the time to like thoroughly look into it and like compare. There was some stuff on Twitter that some people were doing that, but if it definitely is, then we will find out in time. However, all of that stuff is not the point of this video. James Charles uploaded his video debuting his Morphe collaboration palette, and he swatched all 39 colors. And I do want to say that the color selection in this palette is very like broad because like there's a color for everything in this palette. But he swatched all of these, and a lot of people are saying that when he got to this black color, that the color was already there. And if you look, I'm not saying that he did, it does appear to me that way. That's just my personal opinion. It does look like he did a swatch, it didn't look that great, and then he did another one and he tried to put his finger over top of it. Now, I don't necessarily see a problem with that if he would have said it in the video. Now again, I'm not saying that he did. This is open for interpretation. But he actually did this with a few colors that were in this palette because he actually went on to say how pressed pigments are different than regular pigments and all of that. He went to great lengths to explain himself and the formulation and all of that jazz. I'm gonna replay it again for you just so you can see if you weren't paying attention in the intro of this video.
I just love being sister spooked. I just love being sister spooked.
To me, when he has his arm up like this and he goes like this, it looks like he's putting his finger over it. You can see a little black outline here. It does not look to me that that is a shadow, because if there was a shadow, it would not be as prominent as like that black color that was on his arm. But he does this, and then you could see that it like swatches fairly good, and then like you could see like the runoff. It looks like, you know, when you do like a swatch and you could tell like it's pigmented as hell and then it runs off, and then like if you went back and you did another one, it would be like really, really, really pigmented and then it would run off again. To me, it kind of looks like there's a line there. That's just my personal opinion. I really want to know what you guys think about that. I also want to talk a little bit about Kevin James Bennett. You guys know that I've discussed him quite a bit here on this channel. There are quite a few videos where I've talked about him and Kevin James Bennett actually, but Kevin is this really world-renowned makeup artist, and a lot of people live for him. I was kind of on the fence with him a little bit because he did have a lot to say with all this stuff that happened with James Charles in the past. Jaclyn Hill, I just want to point out that it's so funny that Jaclyn Hill had to actually take a poll if it was okay for her to actually do a Morphe video on her channel. Like, that right there tells you that Jaclyn Hill has ran Morphe in the ground on her channel. But this Kevin James Bennett guy has been very vocal about things that have went on in the beauty community, etc, etc. But I want to point out that he actually quote tweeted Morphe brushes. It was actually a tweet that James Charles, he quote tweeted it as well, but Morphe, I believe, put it out first announcing the Morphe collaboration with James Charles, and it said, introducing the James Charles Artistry Palette, launching 11/13/18, hashtag Morphe x James Charles, hashtag Unleash Your Inner Artist. And Kevin James Bennett said, introducing Jaclyn Hill 2.0 with 4 million more subs than the original. Morphe knows where the money are, I think he meant is, but that was shady as hell. Like, if you guys know anything about Kevin James Bennett, him and James Charles actually do have a past because they were in a Facebook group together before James Charles blew up. And apparently there's some still bad blood between them. Like, I have no idea. Like, it definitely seems that way because this Kevin James Bennett guy comes for, like, everybody that is, like, not coming correct at all. James Charles then tweeted back to him in a deleted tweet that said, "You are the absolute scum of the makeup industry." Now, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think that you should definitely be respecting the people that put work into this community before you were even born or before you were even a thought. I mean, even if you don't agree with this guy, you really should respect him. I mean, he is calling you out, but there's a proper way to handle that. Now, I can't really sit here and say that I am very good at taking criticism from certain people. Like, I can take criticism, but when you're nasty with me, that's when, like, all gloves come off and, like, I'm ready to come for you. Now, it's really up to your own interpretation of what Kevin James Bennett said. I mean, he threw a little bit of shade. In my opinion, this is just shade. It wasn't, like, really malicious. It was just him being, like, shady because everybody knows how Morphe is. Morphe will jump at any kind of collab that they think will bring in money. But again, on the backside of that, Morphe is a business, so I mean, you really can't blame them for that. It's ultimately all these influencers that have pushed this on their subscribers, and their subscribers have bought into it, but I think a lot of people are waking up to it because Morphe is literally like a drugstore brand, like on a massive scale on steroids. So I don't necessarily know if James Charles's retort to him was warranted. I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think that James Charles in his position where he's at, if I were him, I wouldn't give this guy any kind of, like, light or anything like that because this guy obviously does not have the following that James Charles has. But also, I do think that it's important that James Charles should have stood up for himself. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, this is like drama, but it's like really, like, this is like petty type of shit. I do think that if James Charles was gonna tweet this out for the world to see, he should have definitely left it up because people are gonna be wanting to know about all this stuff, and that's why drama channels make videos and things like that. I just think that it's best to be an open book. Initially, when I woke up and watched this video, after I watched Thomas Halbert's train wreck of a video, I watched James Charles' video and I was like really excited. Like, I seen the little like teaser on Twitter and I was just like, okay, like this is cute. And then I watched the video and I was like, okay, this is like really cute. Like, I'm really happy for James Charles. I'm excited. I don't think that he's ever had like a real collaboration with the brand. So I mean, Morphe, I probably, if I were him, I would not have went with Morphe just because the stigma that surrounds Morphe and everything that's happened with Jaclyn Hill with Morphe, like, I would have probably like tried something else, but I can understand why he did this because he does have a massive influence, and if they did allow him like freedom to create this palette, if they did give him creative freedom, I think that that's probably why he took it, and he did seem really excited about it. But I really want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that the swatches were like real, or do you just think that it was a case of him maybe swatching it, forgetting when he was like editing the video to say, oh hey, I swatched this, and like go back over it? Like, I really honestly think that's probably the case. I don't think that he was trying to be deceptive, because in the video he did that with like 2 or 3 colors. He was like, oh, you gotta go back over it, builds up, especially like with the first one, the white. He definitely went back in a couple times. But I also want to know what you guys think about Kevin James Beauty, Kevin James Bennett, whatever the hell that guy's name is. But as always, let me know what you think down below, and I will see you guys on my next video. Papa's gotta go get some sleep. Bye guys.